All right, good evening and welcome back, everybody. Let's get this show going. How is everybody doing tonight? Hope y'all can hear me just fine and we don't lose connection for any silly reason, but it's been a lot of storms out this way. Tonight, Serious Farmers NL and Manuel Paul and Opie 1977, Gordon Leon Marks. Welcome to the stream. What I figured I'd do tonight, because it's a good night, I'm going to jump in and we're going to just go around the map. What I did before the show is I pre-built all of the factories. The factories are pretty much done with a couple of minor exceptions. So we're going to go around the whole map once more tonight and we'll take a look at the factories as they're already built. If you missed how the building process is going to work, just go back to my last show. We've been building them for a couple weeks. I don't feel the need to do that. And I wanted you guys to see the new factories that did come in. So we will be going around and just taking a look at what still has to be done. I'm about a week behind schedule, and this month my daughter, I pick her up tomorrow, and she's going to be here through August 25th. So I'm not sure how much time I'm going to be here. Quite a bit of that time, but the hard part, the factories, converting them to buildable, are pretty much done. So we're going to start here on the Johnson farm and go around the map and kind of point out what still needs to be done as we're doing it and show you the map as it stands now and just point out all the new stuff that's coming once more with the three new, well, actually, there's about 5 or 6 new factories coming in and all the new products. So we're just going to go around and I'm going to hit everything just because that was Farm 1, the Johnson Farm. Just for the new people that haven't played the map, if anybody pops in, we have our orchards right here. There's 3 of them. And as we get to each of the factories, we'll let you know if you're going to have to build it or if you are not going to have to build it. And a couple things have changed just because of ease of use. So here we have the dairy. The dairy is one of those factories that will have to be built. And it is all marked up with all the new markers as well. Some of the products may have moved around on some of the factories a little bit with the new system, but for the most part, everything stayed relatively the same. I'm going to take the F1 thing off there because we're not going to be doing any building right tonight, but we have all the new label markers where stuff gets dumped, and the dairy is one of those factories that will have to be built. Fatal Omen, the museum is coming before the release. It is a huge project because of all the donations you guys have been sending in. But I do have a list. I got so many more to add. But it will get done hopefully before the initial release of this by the end of the month. So I'm shooting for the end of August right now. I think it's doable, but because actually the museum is going to be the longest part process that's left. The beer factory, I've decided that we won't have to build it. We did add the pallets in, and they stack up as you drop them off. And we added all the markers for where everything gets dumped. But it was one of those ones that it was just a little bit complicated to make it buildable. So hoping to be back for too much longer. Yeah, we'll get it up there. There's so much to be done, that's for sure. So beer factory, you will not have to build it. You will have to still purchase it, but we're going to leave that one as is, and that's it already built. But you won't have to touch that one at all. Then you have a couple more orchards over here. We have, oh, which ones are they? I think the orange, or I can't even remember which orchards are over here. They look like apples, possibly. Let's take a look in the bin. Apples. And this must be the cherry. Yeah, the cherries are over there. So the other 3 orchards are the pear, the plum, and the orange orchards on the other side. Nothing's going to change with those. Oop. Then we have our concrete factory, PJev's Concrete. This factory will have to be built at the start of the game. It's already here, shown fully built, but you will have to build it when you start the game because it's not here. And we'll show you that too. We'll show you all the empty lots near the end of the show, how it's going to look when you first start the game. And thank you guys for the follows. I'm not going to call out a bunch of names because the follow bot has been just going crazy lately. But thank you all for the new follows. Definitely appreciated. Not much has changed down here, but one of the things we have to do is we have to add all these new products into the warehouses. So another one of these buildings will definitely be filled up when you see all the new products that are going to be in the map. As well as all the train stations still have to be linked together. So if you drop off at one train station, the product will be available at the other two train stations as well. So that has to be done yet. Should not take too long to do that process, linking the train stations together. Down in the corner over here, and we might, if we have time later, because I don't know how long this is going to go. If anybody has any questions while we're driving around or you don't know how to do something and this is your first time, just shout it out when we're in that area so we don't have to come back later, if at all possible. So we have a new building at the FM Textile over here, which is hiding the triggers for building it. So you do have to build the FM Textile factory this time around. And it has the new markers there, as well as you will have to build the birdseed factory. But shown already built. New factory number 1 that's coming in that was not in the previous version is the Campbell's factory, which you will not have to build this. You will have to still unlock them, and this will be one of the later unlocks with all the products that it takes. But this factory alone adds 6 new soup products to the map. So there's 6 products right there, and they are your tomato rice soup, your home-style baked potato soup, your hearty pizza soup, your beer and cheese with beef and bacon soup, your vegetable beef soup, and your beef with vegetables and barley. I am going to bring up on the factory list. You could see the factory list right here. There's several of them, quite a few. Campbell's soup has 2 parts. Each part makes 3, so you can kind of see that the products that are going to be needed here are the ground beef, carrot, onion, and barley for the beef barley soup, steak, carrot, and onion for the vegetable beef soup, and the Boston Lager beer, cheese, ground beef, and bacon for the beer and cheese soup. One thing to note is another big part that has to be done is updating all the sell points with the new products still has to be done. And we're going to be rearranging those and doing the same sell points will stay there, but what they take and everything has to be, and prices and stuff for selling are going to be changing quite a bit. Thank you, Serious Farmers NL. Th- Thank you for the $5 donation, and you're very welcome. So Campbell's has actually 2 uh, different menus for basically A and B, but they're not labeled. There's Campbell's soup number 2 does the souped baked potato, potatoes, bacon, and cheese, your tomato rice, which is your tomato rice and water, and your hearty pizza, which is tomato, cheese, sausage, and pepperoni, which we will get to in a little bit. But pepperoni is, and the meats are at the new meat processing facility that comes in this map as well. So I'm going to try to keep track of how many new products we have as we go. There are 6 right there alone, and we will keep going around the map to see what else is new and let you know what other factories will have to be built and which ones will not. So, I hope you're all enjoying your summer. Mine's been kind of crazy. A lot going on. I haven't been able to really sit in front of the computer for very long periods of time often, so I've been keeping it running and just plugging away when I can, and then going upstairs where my sister, helping my sister redo a room, painting, taping, and put a new floor in, and running to Home Depot and all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's been a little bit hectic just being able to stay down here for any length of time. These no change to the seed and fertilizer making. They I don't even consider them factories, but they run on the factory script, and they're in here too. If we count those, you probably got like close to 30 plus places that create products on the map. So down on the left, Delmonte. Nothing much changed at Delmonte, but we'll jump down there. It will not have to be built. Delmonte will be built right from the start of the game. Oh, I drove right past the entrance, and it's not open yet. It would help if I crank up the time to get the opening hours. This one, I think, opens at 8 o'clock. We'll find out in a minute. Let's see if that did it. Yep, 8 o'clock open time. Wanted to get in here because a lot of people had trouble finding where things get dumped, but we labeled them very easily so you know your carrot, onion, your corn, and your potato are all labeled up nice now, as well as your pickup spot for your canned veggies is right there. Another thing that has to be done is the box truck has to be updated with all the new factories, so there's still quite a bit to be done. I always I want to get it out to you guys fast, but yeah, I always underestimate the work that ends up having to be done. So we're just going to keep plugging away till it gets there. Also over here with the Heartland Bread Factory, you do have to build that one. Heartland Bread will have to be built. I think there's 14 total factories that have to be built. The pallets get dumped off, and you can see that there's a stacks of pallets for where they appear, and all the breads get picked up right there. Three different kinds of breads. Nothing new there other than the markers, again, to show you what gets dumped off where. Water, all the flours get dumped here, and your coal, which I should slide that over. It's not quite centered, but we'll get that taken care of. So your Heartland Bread factory does have to be built. It is not here when we start off. Up the road, we'll head over to the furniture in a little bit, but Pepsi also has to be built. It will not be here when you first get here, so you will have to build the Pepsi factory. But again, everything's marked much clearer where things get dumped off. You see the pallets stacking up behind there. You could tell just visually that there's not many pallets left because there's only one stack. But if we go to Pepsi factory, we can see that the pallets only have 1,200 out of the 60,000. So not a lot of pallets, but we don't even own it yet. And all the products that get dumped are labeled, and also the pickup products all the way around. So this will not be here when you first start. You will have to build it and purchase it. Then we have your hops and props, which will stay, and it is closed right now. Nothing much to look in there. I'm not going to fast forward again. But yeah, it's labeled up, and that's going to be not need to be built. Too small to get the stuff in there to build it and everything. Around the back side over here, we have the furniture factory, which is one of the factories that will have to be unlocked relatively early because it now will take part in building all the other factories with the planks. Mad Mex 53, thank you for the $5 donation. Thank you so much, Mad Mex. I'm going to try to find my way over to. I really appreciate all the donations you guys have given. And we'll get them in the museum when the museum update comes. I think that's going to be probably a 3 or 4 day process just to get all the new graphics in the museum that are coming around. And a big thanks to Wolfie7009 for his continued donations. He definitely has a room waiting for him in there with his donation total. I don't even know what his total is, but we will get to it. I'll add it up. He's been a super, super big help with his recent donations as well. Over here is the furniture factory, all labeled up, much easier to see what goes where. And your chipboard right there and your planks around the back side need to be used in some of the building processes. So you're not going to want to be making furniture when you start off if you want to build. And I'll show you how this works. The furniture factory is right here. You can see that actually we don't own it, so we could still buy furniture, timber, and chipboard. But if we own this, the timber and chipboard go into making furniture, and it will be used up if you don't shut off the furniture making during the process, so you can get those out. Just keep that in mind because you will need some of those products. Not as much as the other products, but we'll definitely be using the timber, which will be renamed planks to keep it good all the way across the board. I have it labeled as timber in some places, planks is other, but it'll all be the same one way or another when we get going. And we're going to sneak back up on the road here somehow. Yeah, this way works. Pretty much nothing new there. We did skip the farm down below. Nothing's going to change at the Roberts farm. That's going to stay the same. And we'll continue around this map. Down here we have the third farm, if you count the Roberts one that we just breezed past back there. And one thing that's going to change, but so far we're good, is every farm is going to have 2 silo bunkers on it because the silo bunkers in the middle have disappeared. So this one's all set to go. That's really the only farm changes that have to come in. Badzilla, thank you for the host there, my friend. Is the silo bunkers on a couple farms. There's only one, and we want to get 2, with exception of the cow farm because of space, and the center farm, which doesn't have any. But the 4 main outer farms are each going to have 2 silo bunkers apiece. So as we go around, one of the things that has to be done as well is the order of unlocking all the buildings. We might do a little bit of that later on. I've got a few things that have to be done, but they're getting easier. I guess the thing I dread the most that's left is actually updating the museum because of all the graphics that have to be made, but I already made hundreds of graphics for this. Now we do have the sawmills, which I didn't change, I mean the pallet making factories, which I have not changed, but I do have plans to put the third one in on the east side for those that have been asking, and I'll show you where that's going to go as we go around the map here. We have the gypsum factory, which will not have to be built, but you'll want to actually, whoops, don't jump in the vehicle. Open the door. There we go. You can see this is all labeled as well with what gets dumped off and where. So you won't have to build this, but you'll want to unlock it relatively early in the process because the gypsum wallboard, the drywall that's over here, will be needed, or you could buy it from the company if there's any there. There is some available before you own it. You could actually buy the product, but you're going to need a lot of wallboard in the building of the factories as well. So that, nothing really changed other than the labels on that one. And I'm trying not to miss anything as we weave back and forth here. Like I said before, all the train stations will be connected, so dropping off at any train station will work just fine. Oh yeah, this could happen. You could roll over and then just have to grab another truck. Here, let's go. We'll go through the middle and pick up on the other side. That's what we'll do. Because there's some new stuff in the middle as well that you've some of you have already seen, but so far we've only gotten to 6 of the new products, and the number will go up drastically once if I can get to the middle without crashing. I'm going to kind of cut across the mountains. Shortcut. Why not? Let's see if we can do it without rolling the truck. Yeah, cross country driving. So if this is your first time here, you will recognize the middle of the map is just a different our version of Goldcrest Valley, with the outside being all changed, but the center has remained close to original. You'll see some of the new things that we have changed around a little bit on this old farm system. But we have the cow farm, no major changes there from the V2 version. Everything pretty much is going to be the same, the cook farm. And we're going to go through the middle of the map. We'll go past the other farm, which we tend to call the main farm because it was the main farm on Goldcrest Valley. So as we're going through here too, for those of you, the other palette, Blaupunkt won $50 donation. Thank you so much. You're very much welcome for everything I do. We do it for you and for me, but yeah, you guys have been such a huge help. The mills in the middle of the map as well will be all linked together to the main storage. Everything, all of the train stations will be linked together. So if you can get it into one, you can pick it up at the other. One of the major changes we made that some of you are already aware of is the BGA in the center is no longer. And this is where we make our, see, I have them labeled planks here, but in the menu timber, they're all going to be labeled planks. This is where we're going to be making our beehives at the 3 Beehive factory, so you can pump them out and you will carry them over to drop them in here. And this little machine here will make pallets of honey and pallets of wax. So that is product 6. I mean, yeah, well, we had 6, 7, and 8. And over here, we get a few other bee products that are made. We'll bring up the bee products menu, which is, da-da-da-da-da, where is it? There's too many things in this menu to tell where everything is anymore. Bee products, there we go. So you're going to be making fire logs and candles from the bee products, with lavender and pallets and wax for the candles, and wax peanut shells and pallets for the fire logs. So we're just going to count these two, the fire logs and the candles as well. That brings us up to 10 new products on the map. And it gives us use for some of those others, but obviously you know that the peanut shells are going to be in the map as well. So we're going to get there eventually. So 10 products from version 2 more so far. And that is ready to go. And just around the corner and down the road, we have another factory as well that we'll swing by. And the pig farm, no major changes. Still there, still doing its usual thing. So I'm going to lose track of how many products, but we got 10 new ones. Then we come over to, yeah, let's drive into trees. Me, I see things in the distance and then the roads give way. Forget the roads. Once you see where you're going, who needs a road anymore? Up here where there used to be a fuel station, we now have the meat processing facility. So this one here, you drop off all your animals in this box and you'll be picking up loading your products right here. And yeah, lots of products. So 10 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 products we're up to with this one, including your ground beef, pepperoni, pork chops, sausage, bacon, steak, ham, and mutton from the sheep. So we'll take a look at that real quick. Basically, you drop your animals off and they turn into wonderful stuff. That is our slaughterhouse. 18 products. I should write that down. Where are we? C&M Meat Company. So there, you got it. The pigs make pork, bacon, ham, sausage, pepperoni. Cows do ground beef, steak, pepperoni, and sausage. And the sheep just do mutton, which is a direct sell off. You'll get a better price for processing it through. But I'm not going to make a factory that takes mutton because every time I add a new factory, I have to add a new product because I bring in other factories. And you'll know that when we get near the end here with the three new factories that we haven't seen yet. But I did mention what they were going to be. Some things have changed just slightly with them. Let's cut back to, I'm going to lose my voice. Excuse me. The outside of the map, if I can find a way. We're going up the mountain to, well, we still have the whiskey factory, but that's not here. That's on another place. I'm kind of trying to find a way over the mountain because of where I am. And that's never a good thing because you know me, I'm going to end up flipping this and have to do it all over again. But that's where I want to go. Crystal steel. Cogent has not changed other than the markers, which we showed you that already. We can swing by Cogent for those guys that don't know where Cogent is. We'll hit that one first. If I don't roll this vehicle onto its roof. Yeah, all right. Cross country. 18 products and counting that have been added over the V2 with several more to go. I guess probably 30 to 40, but I was going to say closer to 40, but we'll see what number we get to. So, where am I? I'm trying to find my way to Cogent and up this way. If you take the roads, it's much easier to find out where you're going. So Cogent will be available from the beginning of the game. It's one of those factories that we want you to get started making your lumber so you won't have to purchase. You do have to purchase your tree licenses still, but not much change there other than labeling up what goes where. And the pickup and drop off points, you still have the option of dropping your wood chips at the bottom of the ramp if you want to, or backing it up and dropping them into the bin itself, which some people found a little annoying. So we accommodated you guys by putting that trigger down below. And your paper and all that fun stuff, coal gets dumped in there. And then there's a sawmill up at the top, just as it was before. I guess before we go over to that factory on the other side, the steel factory, which has to be built, we'll swing down this way. Actually, wrong road. We will not have to build the glue factory. It's here. You do not have to build it. And I don't know if it's open yet. Yes, it is. So labeled up with your resin and your glue products. Drop off, pick up. It's going to stay the same. No need to build that one. And we're not going to build the vodka factory this time because if you're familiar with, oh, I should fix that wall though. Yeah, make a note of that. I never noticed that. See, I never drove down there. Get that grass out of that wall and that slab. That's why I do these shows because I don't get to play on the map that often yet. And I make notes as I drive around. So I am writing down what I want to change a little bit on the vodka factory. And that pretty much stays the same. But if you're, as I was saying, this is all one model. So to build the factory, it would go poof. It would be here. But you pick up your vodkas, all three of them right there. And this one was a little confusing for people, but your drop-off points are now well labeled what goes where as well at the vodka factory. The pallets have like every other factory, now stack up as they're dropped off, and your oranges and cherries get dropped off there. And did we take away sugar cane on this factory, or did I miss a marker? Because the sugar cane still shows up. I can't remember. Choose from list. I might. Where is my? Oh, it's called Smirnoff. If I look for Smirnoff instead of vodka, anybody see it? Da 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 da. There it is. Uh, yeah, we need. Oh, that's right. It's sugar. We took away sugar cane and we just do sugar. So another thing I want to do there is replace that plane back there so that it actually shows sugar at the factory or potatoes back there rather than the sugar cane that was there from the last version. So nothing really changed other than that, but I did find a few more things, more work to do. And we're still at 18 new products. Coming around, we're going to go over to where the steel mill is, which you will have to build the steel mill. And steel is required in all of the factory building processes, so it will be unlocked a lot earlier. When I say unlocked, uh, for those of you who have there's a score. My total rating is 8. These have to all be rearranged. Right now, it takes a rating of 10 to open black cap bird seed, 20, 20, 30. We're going to have some new point systems, but the factories like concrete are going to move up here to the 20 range starting off, along with the steel factory, which was National Gypsum can no longer have a rating of 75 needed. That one's got to move up. Furniture's going to move up, and the steel factory. So all the ones that are going to be required will be unlocked first this time because that way you'll have the products available to unlock to start building the factories right away. And then so your rating is gained by completed missions and all that fun stuff. Buying tree licenses, buying fields, completing contracts, and number of pigs, cows, sheep owned all add to your rating. I found that the ratings this time through started off quickly. We're going to probably make the lowest level 20, and the last one was the Shell Fuel with a 125. That's going to probably end up closer to somewhere between 150 and 200. I think our rating on our server is like 300 and something now. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they unlocked pretty darn quick. So this factory does have to be built. Yeah, we'll get the kinks worked out. This version is not downloadable yet. Not yet. It is still about a month away from being completed, but it's, yeah, we want to get as many of the kinks out. And the problem is, no matter how many hours we put into this thing, we always find stuff after it's released. Just because of the way different people play and different styles, we often find things that have not been caught. So it's almost unavoidable, but we will do the main testing before we get released too. I'm expecting to have this on our server to start testing the new factories and everything within the next few days. Hopefully by the end of this weekend I can get it up there for those guys. Like I said, there's very little left to do, and then it will be released to my guys to start the testing. So, have I done anything with the coffee? No, we have not done anything with the coffee. 04 Paul. And if I miss your questions, it's because I'm kind of lost here. But coffee is going to be one of those things, very few products that is just going to be sold off you to restaurants and stuff as is. We are pushing the limit of what we can actually get in the map. Thank you, Clincy, for the $25 donation. Really appreciate that, Clincy, as well. Thank you so much. This factory is our sugar factory, and it will be need to be built this time around. That's the second stage of factories that will be unlocked, are the factories where products go into other factories. So the unlocking order is going to be quite different, and sugar and flour factories, because they're needed at the bread and the hops factory, those types of factories are like round two in the unlocking order before we get to the last one, which are just the end products. One of the things I want to do this time around too is some of these products may not be sellable, uh, such as your flowers. I don't know if we're going to have sell points for the flowers, and we may just make you use those products right at the end product factory. But that being said, the end product factory prices are going to go up and their production speeds go down. The goal is to make it so that you can, if you're playing this single player, you're not just running one factory trying to keep it run, but you fill it up and it should last about 10 days. We'll talk about upgrading the factories if you want them to run faster. That is going to be done as well. We may do a little bit of that when we're done here tonight, because that's another thing I want to get done before we get it up on the server so we can test the speed. So the flour factory right here does not have to be built. That one's going to start out where it is, and you will have to buy it, but you won't have to build it. And your oat, wheat, and rye get dumped off here. And there's silos. The pallets are going to be right there, and they're marked with the arrow. I didn't put a marker for the pallets. There's some grass in the middle. Let's make a note of getting that grass out of Flower Factory. Usually what I do right after the show is go through and take care of all these little things that I notice first so I can continue on with a clear conscience. So all flowers get picked up at the silo there. Not a lot of changes there, and that one is pretty much going to stay the same. And then, as well as the stone processing, you'll be able to run it right from the beginning. The products are labeled. Again, the fuel is to create the boulders down by the gravel area, but I put the new labels even though they were on the bins. I marked the ground with the new labels here as well. Make it a little bit easier to see where things get dropped off. And over here, thank you there, Cowboy 32. Yeah, the drop point colors, I like the color scheme. Makes it a little bit easier. You have stone and salt labeled. Each of these are labeled as well. What you purchase from the two cranes. And all of the products get dropped off in there to be picked up by the train, if you didn't know what that was for. So not a lot of changes here. But one of the big changes that has to go before I release it is the remodel of, and I just basically barely even started this, but we're going to be remodeling the whole greenhouse area to make it much more user friendly. And you can see I've already painted the ground just before the show actually. It's going to extend roughly out to about here, the greenhouse area. So we're going to give it more room. My goal is to stretch it out, orient all the greenhouses so that they're facing the same direction so you can go down them in a row. And we're going to take out this whole wall along the road and stretch it out as well toward the road a little bit further so you can drive in from any angle. And that is still yet to come, but that's one of the next three things on my list before I get it on the server. So we'll see that very soon in next week's broadcast whenever I can get it. I'm not sure if it'll be Friday night, but we'll get back here. That will be done because it's going on the server on Monday or Tuesday. It's going to probably be done tomorrow or the next day. So 18 new products brings us to another one of the new factories that has come in. And we are not going to build planters. And I cannot drive on the grass, as you can see. But planters is going to stay already built from the beginning for now. Maybe in a future release we'll make you build it, but no, right now it's just that the number of fabric script instances we're running in this map is humongous, and I'm more concerned about bogging the people's slower systems down. So products that come from the peanut factory, peanut shells, which we already saw is made used for the fire logs. That is number 19. Uh, we have honey roasted peanuts, peanut butter, and peanut oil, and they will stack up on this ledge, but I don't have any in there. So that's 20, 21, and 22. And the drop off points for honey and pallets go there. Thank you there, Bromeister, Braumeister, Meister Brow, Braumeister. That's what it is. So what are we? We came in here with 18. Now we got 19. We're up to 22, I guess. And I still have to make a note. I forgot to fix the flashing on those two conveyors at planters. So just the little bugs. Mark that down. So 22 new products through here. We're getting close to around the map before we get into showing you what has to be done. We have more to do. And I think that this last farm up here is the only one that needs a second bunker built in. And it should, I haven't even looked at it yet, but we're going to get a second bunker into this farm for silage, and so you can make your fuel a little bit faster, have bunkers to alternate. And there should be plenty of room up here. This is one of the largest ones. Originally, we just used it for, yeah, we're going to put another one right alongside of that one. Probably move the one over and stick it right in here. But there will be a second bunker coming in up at this farm as well. And Braumeister, thank you for the follow. Yes, Pepsi makes Mountain Dew. We've got Mountain Dew in the map at the Pepsi company. So 22 products, and now we're getting into uh, the new factory area very soon. We'll take this back road. This is probably going to be the most used part of the map at some point that you never used before, other than cutting down trees, because we had so much room up here that several of the new factories, the three latest ones, all just happened to pop up over here. But first we have to go buy a couple of the other ones. Fuel, I did not get the markers in because somebody was working on the fuel factory to see if we make it buildable. I was not going to do it, but if not, if I get that, we'll drop it in. If not, fuel will. Oh boy, has that parking lot always been that bad over here? I gotta smooth that out. I never noticed that. Make a note of that, but it's bump. There's a big bump there. See the things that we played this for so long and nobody's ever mentioned that to me. I don't know if anybody ever hit it. More hidden vehicles. It's on the list. It's not a priority right now, but it's on the list of things that I would like to get done. We'll see when we get there. It doesn't take too long, but again, it's one of those things where the vehicles that are hidden have to be starter vehicles. They can't be mods. So I got to look through the equipment list and see what we can do. So it's a possibility. I'm not going to say yes yet, but it's on my list of things that with about 30 other things I'd like to get done. Uh, our factories here. Last week we had some issues with my computer. It was just that with streaming and with mod editing and everything, I just needed to restart the computer. That's all it took. But we started building this factory and it is in place and complete. I didn't have to backtrack and do anything. I just had to finish putting in the but we started working on this and now it is done. So you'll have to build our Kellogg's and our Frito-Lay factory. That's the Frito. And I also made it so we will have to build our Kellogg's factory this time as well. So this one will have to be built, but it's all done and ready to go. And there is a new building back here that's hiding the building markers because I didn't want to take away the use of these garages on the sides. So I had to put in a building that was solid in order to hide the building triggers. And that's why you'll see a new garage back here as well when you're building the Kellogg's factory. So that is number, oh, we had 22 new products, but now we're getting into the 3 new factories. And there's a road that goes through here. Now, last time we were here, there was one factory just barely started. Right now, I have them all built. All 3 of these factories will have to be built. So these are the final 3 that you will be building. And there's a new one right there, but we'll check out the one that was already on the map, just not done. And we'll check out the products that we're going to be doing here. And I kind of preloaded some of these products to give you a little bit. So we have the Hines factory here. And Hines is going to create mustard bottled. And there's your pallets of mustard stacked up. And I do need to test the, let's bring up Hines here. I do need to test the pallet output because I have not even tested any of these 3 factories. So we'll check that out. Let me get my truck back. Let me pop out my mustard. There we go. So you got a couple pallets. I put them close to the door so you'll be able to pick them up with your trailer as you go by. Mustard looks good. Over here we'll also be making ketchup. What goes into mustard is, as you can see, the ketchup and mustard have to be made at the same time well, because I needed to have 4 products in this factory and that one seemed the most sensible to me. Uh, the first product is vinegar. The reason vinegar is it's going to make pretty fast is because it's going into the process of making your ketchup and mustard as well as your mayonnaise. So we got 4 products here. So that brings us up to 26 new products. And these 2 are made at the same time. You need all the products: tomato, mustard, vinegar, corn, salt, water, and pallet. And you will get both of those products out at the same time. They take the same production line. So I can check the ketchup out. Yep, we can spawn our pallets there. Now, I think we're at 26 if I'm counting right. Who knows? Around the corner, we have our mayonnaise back there piling up. And these garages do not fill up because there'll be way too many pallets, but you get a good couple rows back there. So you can actually park vehicles in front of these pallets as they park up. You could still use the garages and just park your vehicles in them if you wanted to. And mayo, we'll spawn a couple mayo pallets up to the front. There we have our mayonnaise. And let's see, we'll drive around to the vinegar as well. Now, vinegar is not used a lot of it in these products because it's also used at our next factory in the process. But we brought in this, and here's your dump spot for all these: corn, soybean, mustard, tomato, salt, water. Those are your products in. Your pallets get dumped off right here. And your building actually is hidden underneath those silos to build this place. And over here in front, we had the one vinegar because vinegar will also need to be picked up. I don't even know if we have a little bit made in the vinegar. Let's see if I can at least spawn a pallet. There we go. Vinegar will get dropped off into the next factory as well. So you can take your pallets or the box truck and fill up your vinegar on the marker. And like I said, vinegar is just like a 5% per product. Some of them might take up to 20, but it's very minimal because it's going to be used in the making of our salad dressings around the corner. So we had 26 products before we go to our salad dressing. I think we're 26. I might have lost track, but right over here, and there's a couple entrances, we have our salad dressing factory, Ken's salad dressing. And here's where we pick up our dressings. So let's bring up Ken's on the list and we'll take a look at what's going into and what we have coming out. We have a vinaigrette dressing, which is a raspberry vinaigrette, which takes the vinegar, water, raspberry, so you get use of raspberries finally, salt, and onions. And we can pop out a couple vinaigrette palettes right there. It's raspberry vinaigrette. And then we have a ranch dressing, which is made with the vinegar, milk, salt, and onion. So we can actually start producing these because I haven't just like that. But we'll pop out a couple ranch palettes, make sure they're good. Yes, they are. And then the last dressing over here is our honey mustard, which is going to take your vinegar, your mustard, honey, salt, and water to make honey mustard dressing. Ken's honey mustard dressing bottles right there. So that does get more use for your mustard. Your honey wasn't used before. A little bit more use for your milk. The vinegar from the new factory and the raspberries all included in there with the mix of your other products. Now, that factory actually goes around this side and you will be dumping off your honey, vinegar, and raspberry, which are all palleted products. That's why they're grouped up here. There's nothing that's going to show right now. Maybe we'll add them on so the pallets show on this. But you drop them off here and they go into the factory. And all the other products go the milk and water down on this end. And the salt, onion, and mustard get dropped off there. And it's very roomy. So that is your Ken's factory right there for your Ken's salad dressing. KC barbecue sauce. We're not doing any more products this map. No barbecue sauce this time. But one of the interesting things is, as we head here, I wanted to get this other factory up here in this corner as well. So this is the road that goes to the other factory. And I did something a little bit different because of the landscape, and I thought it ended up coming out pretty cool. But the last new factory that you guys have coming in is pretty much got a ramp here to get into the back entrance of the factory. This one does show all the products, and that's full as far as the drop-off products. So again, you can you can drive vehicles out in front of them and still use these garages. But this is just for processing fruits and veggies. It takes carrot, which I don't have pallets yet, but we may or may not add those. I don't know. You might just leave that for parking vehicles because they're not palleted products. But cauliflower, cabbage, lettuce, and on this side it takes apples and strawberries, raspberry, and your cranberry. This is the Dole plant, Dole factory. And Dole does a lot of packaging of fruits and vegetables, and that's pretty much what you're going to do. We'll bring up the menu of Dole, which is the last one on the list down here, and you will see that there's 3 production lines. You're going to need all the products to run the production line, but it will output the products equally. So if you're running production line 1, you will see cauliflower, raspberry, and cranberry have to go in, but it's going to create bagged cauliflower, bags of raspberries, and bags of cranberries. And we need to spin this around and test those out for spawning. They should work fine, I hope. There's our cauliflower pallets, our raspberry pallets down here, and our bagged cranberry pallets right there. So those all spawn just fine. Those are the bagged whole products. Next, so you pick up your bagged products right here at that label. And you do have to build this factory as well, if I didn't mention that. Yeah, all three of these factories up in this corner. Next, we have the slicing, and that includes sliced apples and sliced strawberries. So those are on the same production line. Bring your apples and strawberries over, and you can create the output sliced strawberries there and your sliced apples right there. Now, these you're going to get a lot more money for processing them this way, and you only lose 5%. So 100% in of any of these products, you'll get 95% back as a palleted product that can go for sale. This is where these products from like the greenhouses and stuff uh, put a Walmart in. Yeah, tell me about it. These products from the greenhouses are not going to be sold off directly anymore, but the products, the sliced strawberries and that stuff, they're going to be used in the factories, and then you'll be able to sell the products. There's not going to be middle. And then the shredded uh, production line will require carrots, your red cabbage, and lettuce, and you will get your shredded, whoops, started at the other end, shredded cabbage right there, our shredded lettuce pallets, and our shredded carrot pallets. So you have shredding, slicing, and just packaging. And those are all new products as well. And I forget what number we were on. We were on 26, I think. And this one here has 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, somewhere around 34 new products in the map this time around. And the biggest thing is that most all the other products are now used. One of the cool things I liked about this is that the train actually runs into this station here. So you will pick up you dump off here, and then there's the marker right over here for picking up these products. All the products can be picked up at the train at the same location, but if you're using a car, you want to pick them up on, or the box truck, you'd bring it over and pick it up on the individual markers. But the train actually runs into this directly into the station, and that is why I had to build up the walls and stuff, because you'll notice on this end of the factory over here, and your building stuff is hidden underneath that corner one, the railroad actually goes downhill before it leaves the factory, which is kind of a cool little feature. Actually uphill because you'll be heading into it this way. But that is why the wall had to be built up around the Dole factory to get enough flat landscape and still have the railroad be not have to be moved and usable. But I kind of like when I have to improvise because it adds a little bit more design elements to the map than just plopping another fact. You can drive down the railroad line as well, but you shouldn't be. You should be using the roads. It's just the roads are too hard to come by. So that is pretty much all the new products. Uh, and the placement of the new factories. A lot more going on, like I said, in this corner of the map. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to come in and we'll take a quick trip around and you'll see exactly what the factories are going to look like when you first start the game, because they're not there. This was just me fudging some numbers to get them to show up so that we didn't have to go through the whole building process. So we're back to the original farm. Keep an eye out for big empty lots. Let's jump out and get a clean save game and jump back in. And I'll take a drink while we're doing that. Anybody has any questions? We will have sell points for the fruits and stuff at the restaurants. We have bakeries, which, to be honest with you, We could easily take some of the, that's the stuff as I go through some of the factories. We could easily take the one that takes apples or, well, I don't think we had, but like cranberries. We could make it so they had to be packaged first, but probably not. We'll just probably keep it the way that it was. Let's find an empty save game that I haven't used to test here and load up the map. This all has to change. We're going to get a new graphic and a new version 3 setup. I've been trying to get some pictures around the neighborhood out here. I got a few. I just haven't been able to download them to my camera to see which one I want to use. Uh, can you restart the silt, sand, and gravel? You would have to delete there is a file that can be redone. I haven't done it in a long time, but to restart them, you'd have to go to your save games and remove the ground detail height density, I think it is, file that holds that information, but it will also get rid of everything all the piles you have on the ground, including your bunkers. So just be aware that that's going to happen if you decide to reset it. There should be enough to get you through the whole map without having to worry about it. Let me find the vehicle on, and we'll go backwards this time around because while you still have some of this stuff fresh in your mind, you saw the map with all the factories built. Now we're going to get into the map, what it's going to look like when you first get in here and you have to build them. So you can see the work that's going to have to be done. We'll start right here at this one. And you notice no factory, but you'll have these stations at every one of them that tell you you need concrete, boards, drywall, steel, and chipboard. And there's a coin over here somewhere. Uh, and you'll watch the percentages fill up, and then you'll see a gold marker where you pick up the gold, like we've discussed before. There's the coin. They're gonna stay where they were, even though they're kind of out in the open now without the factory being here. So there is one of the lots right there, big empty spots, and you will notice as we go around again, there's a lot of big empty spots. One of them we actually zipped right by. The soy milk factory has to be built as well. I may bump into something here and there if I missed a collisionable object, but I think I got them all taken care of. So this one here gets built back there. Those are your Fredo and your Kellogg's plants. We'll go back up this side over here. V3, you're still probably about end of the month I'm shooting for. It's really hard to tell. These guys on my server will hopefully have it by Monday to start testing the stuff that's in here. Once I get the greenhouses, the final terrain changes in, and then they'll begin testing while I finish up some of the other things that need to go in the museum. And I can give you a list of things that have to come yet. But where the heck did I put the, I keep forgetting. The soy milk factory is around there somewhere. I think it's down that road. Let's check it out. That one has to be built as well. We've got the sawmill over here. Yep. Sawmills do not need to be built. However, you will run into a wall if you try to jump into the pit from the soy, because that has to be built. So be aware that soy milk factory is not here, but we didn't want you falling in that pit, and it will be filled in when it's built. But you have to build the soy milk as well. And I didn't remove those gates, but I think I'm going to, because the more I test this, the more it starts to bug me. And oh yeah, get muddy. Thank you everybody once again for all the follows, and especially thank you for all the donations that came in tonight as well. I really appreciate it. That's going to help out a ton with my daughter coming home. We'll be able to have movie here or there or do something this month. A little extra spending cash never hurts to take her out and buy her dinner or whatever. That's where donations that come in this week are definitely going to be going to. Spend some quality time with my kid who will be here through August 25th. I will be able to broadcast this coming week, but after that, I don't know if it will be on Friday night. But after that, the next week, we're going to go away, do a little bit of camping for 4 days, just 4 days. And then we'll drop in a show. So things will have to stop for 4 days. But I tend to work on this all hours of the day, regardless. So we'll get it done. So here's your factories not built. Your Ken's is empty. The other one, obviously, is completely gone. You have to build them all. And there's a good 14 building prod. There's more factories, even though there are some that you don't have to build. Factory wise, there's more to build in this map than, oh, figures. Let's get stuck on a fence, why don't you? So, yeah, there's the markers for this one. And they have to be lowered a little bit. I see they're just floating just a little bit at this factory. Just a tiny bit. So I have to, like I said, I did these last two factories last night and today. I wish my truck didn't get stuck. I'm going to have to go find another one. Where are we? We are at this farm. We'll go around the other side. Yeah. So it's very empty in the beginning. Uh, I still have a long list of things to name that actually I'll go through. My short list is just to give you uh, an idea of what has to come. And sometimes I write shorthand and I don't even remember why I wrote that. We have to do the unlock order of the factories has to be redone. The museum needs to be updated. All the prices need to be gone through in the sell points. Uh, so that the prices are higher for the final product and some of the products won't be. So all the sell points have to go through. That's at least a day right there with all the sell points on this map. Remember, there's a gold sell point right over here for when you're building the factories. That's where you drop off your gold, just one spot on the map. So that's on the list. The greenhouses, obviously, all the upgrade of the factories are going to be done different. They're going to start off running pretty darn slow, but you'll be able to upgrade them 5 times is the plan to get them all built. And that way you can get them running. It's going to cost you money, but you can get them running back to full speed ahead like they are now, but you're going to have to pay to do it. They're going to be starting off relatively slow running wise. I'm not going to go back to the steel factory because we know that needs to be built, and as well as the sugar factory right there, empty lot. So it's pretty much the way it's going to start. What we're going to do next is I'll show you. I think we're going to tackle, because it's relatively early, I wanted to get at least a couple hours out of this show. I'm going to jump in and we're going to start making some of those other changes for the rest of the show and see what we can do as far as I don't know if we're going to do the map jump into the map stuff, but I do have the file opened that a lot of the underlying works of this have to go. With the farm silos, all right, let's see a couple. Yeah, you hate it when you look at a sticky note all day, so you have no idea what you were talking about. I do that all the time. Some of my notes are like, why did I write down farm silos? I don't know why, because we're not changing the farm silos this time around. They're not going to be linked. I didn't want the farms linked together because I want people that run this map to have their separate storage if they decide to run the farms individually. So that should answer. Yeah, it's hard if you're playing alone. It's hard to drive all the farms. The good news is that there's usually a railroad station near most of those farms to run. But we're going to keep the farm silos separate, and all the railroad stations will be connected together. Let's see. Any way to have a Sasquatch running around the forest at night? If you can do me a 3D model that I can put on a spline of a Sasquatch, I'll put him in the forest. That answers your question. So this is the fun part of the factory, and basically the Economica XML needs a pretty big rewrite with all our new stuff. These are the extra missions and the factories that they're allowed to pop up at. And I have a list of factories and sell points that have to be added into these. So, actually, all factories need to be added in. Sell points, not so much. Where did my list go? So, I got to make sure I get the spelling lowercase, uppercase. We're going to add these in, and I'm going to just grab actual factory like Smirnoff here line, and I'll bring it down to the bottom, and we're going to add the new ones in so we can get missions at them. And they are Slaughterhouse, all one word. The Slaughterhouse, Campbell's. This is just so if we have missions pop up, they can actually use these factories as well as, and Campbell's B is the other one. That takes care of Campbell's. Another factory that needs to have missions is Ken's salad dressing. And then we have Dole for all the sliced fruits. I'm not going to worry about the numbers at the end, the durations and stuff, because for the factories, they're all either 50 or 70,000. All right. And we also have our Hines factory, and we have Planters, but I spelled that one with a capital P. And then we have our B products that is spelled. Now those spellings are the way they are in the map so it can recognize it. So those are the new places that we needed to add. So now they are mission compatible. Next part down here, we have the buyable factories. Oh, the stuff that I gotta do with this. This is where, if you noticed, each of the factories have a rating that they're unlocked. And they also have a position in the menu that they show up. So point 1, point 9, point 1 to point 85. So as we reorder these, I gotta change the ratings on them. And that, it shouldn't take too long, but if I get messed up, we're gonna have a messed up menu. I have the factory order pretty much, and we're gonna change some prices too. So let's get into it. Uh, we just got to remember point 1 to point 9 is the first one. I'm going to take them from below and drag them to the top. Thank you there, Dana8818 for the $20 donation. Thank you so much. I super appreciate all the help you guys have been giving me. Thank you once again. First factory that we're going to be doing this time, I'm going to cut it from here, and I'm going to just put a space in this list so I know where I'm leaving off, is the concrete factory. Is going to need to be purchased. We'll keep the price at 250,000, but the rating on that one, we're going to start at a 20 rating for the concrete factory, and it has to go to the 0.91 and 0.9 position in the menu. Next one that's going to be on now, stone processing and cogent, you own them right from the get go. Next one to unlock will be our crystal steel. So I got to take that one and we're going to bring that one up here. And that one used to cost 650, but we're going to lower that price down a little bit because you're going to need it to 300,000. We're going to need to change that to point 0.1 and 0.85 is good, but the rating on that one's going to go down to a 30 to unlock that one. Next one on the list will be our gypsum factory, National Gypsum. So this is basically just making it so that they appear able to use. We're going to lower that one to about 300. That's a smaller place. Maybe we'll make that like 275. And that's going to be point 0.1 and point 0.8 for the menu. And we'll put that one at 35 to unlock. And then we need our furniture factory. So bring that one up here. And again, we're going to want to go, we're going to make it a little bit more, but that one, 300,000, we'll put that at a rating of 40 and point 0.1 and 0.75. So 40 is actually a pretty easy number to get to. By the time you start buying fields and get things running, those 4 factories will be unlocked. You can start building all of those factories. Like the concrete factory, you can start building it without even unlocking it. But you will need concrete to build the next factory, crystal steel, and then you'll need the steel to build the gypsum factory. No, gypsum just actually unlocks. You don't even have to build that one, nor do you have to build the furniture. But you do have to build the steel factory and the concrete factory with other products. So once you have those 4 unlocked, we get to get into the smaller factories that are black-cap birdseed. So we can actually just move that one up. Actually, no, we don't want to put black-cap birdseed. That one's out of order. Um, no, actually, we do. We'll give you a couple factories to run final products before we. Birdseed has just always been one of the lower factories, and we're gonna give the. Notice the ratings are going up a little bit. We'll keep that as a small factory, black-cap birdseed, and that's got to change its position on the menu. Excuse me. Then we'll do the textile once again, which is FM textile right here. That one's going to jump up here. And that looks good price-wise. Change our position in the menu. And we'll give that a 55 for that one. I don't know where we're going to end up with numbers, but these may be adjusted. I'm just getting the order, and we'll see how it runs through. Next, we're going to get into, after those 2 factories, we're going to get into the factories that require you to make a product before you build it. That go into another factory is what I'm trying to say. So first one we're going to grab is the glue factory, because actually we should have that up the list further. This is where it gets interesting. We need glue before to make the gypsum, so we'll put that up in here. Then I got to reload them all. I was wondering if there was a way to add grass to the train silos. You mow grass on one farm and eat it on another, the opposite side. I'll put that on my list. It shouldn't be too hard if I can add that. Grass to train silos. Let me get back to that page. That is not too hard to do. I will look into that. That can be done. I'll hopefully we'll remember and I'll get to that list. Yeah, yeah. The train silos are going to be linked together, but so now I got to redo this menu just a little bit because I forgot we had to have glue for the gypsum factory. I had my list a little bit out of order, so we're going to open that one at 35 before my gypsum is opened. And then the gypsum factory can go in there, lower the menu, change that one up to 40. Furniture factory can go to 45, but I have to change where it's located. And then black cap can stay. And then 1.6 on textile. Then we're going to unlock our hops and props, another small factory that goes into the brewery later on. And look at that, it fell right into place. Then it works. Next, we are going to grab our sugar and flour factories because they are also. So, grain mill and sugar refinery, I think we can just move those up. And the dairy would be right after that as well. So, not a lot of change there, uh, other than the positions, and the ratings. Notice the ratings are going to change quite a bit on these. Put a change in order, and we're going to go to I'm going to go right to 70 for both of those because they're about equal. We'll go to 75 on the dairy. Now, where are we? At that point, we have we have to get the meat processing in, which is a new one. So let's copy a line here and put in what we are calling in this menu the slaughterhouse. And that one is going to go up a little bit in price. And that will get our animal products going. All right. Pretty much the rest of them are going to be, we're going to get into soy milk, bread. Now we're going to get into the ones that are pretty much all end products. So we're going to bring the soy milk one up here. And we'll bring that up a little bit. And then our Heartland bread. And move it in the menu. And next on the list, Pepsi and canning factories. So bring the Pepsi in. At 1.2, and we'll bring that down a little bit on the list there. And then our canning factory is right here. We just got to move it up a little bit. And we'll make that 1.15. And how far down did it go? That's the last one in that row. Okay. So there's going to be two big rows of purchasing stuff on this thing. Hopefully we can get it all in two rows. Uh, Canning factory, we'll put it at 105. And then I'm going to leave a space because the next row starts at 1. with a point 0.2 in the beginning. So after canning factory, we're going to bring planters in, another new one. Planters. I'm kind of spacing the new ones either near the end or give you guys something to work to for, or do a, and I'm going to bring the prices up on these a little bit too. And spacing them out a little bit so that you unlock them a little bit earlier, like the slaughterhouse is a little early, and just to kind of make it a little bit scattered, but with the bulk of them being toward the end of the list because they're new. It'd give you something to shoot for as you're going. So we got to go back to 0.9 for the top, and we'll bring that to 110. Next on the list is Kellogg's, Sam Adams, and Vodka. Let's see. Oh, we got to get Popcorn Suttons in there. That's a pretty small place. We'll get that right up in there right now. Popcorn Suttons. We'll give you a 115 on that one. Whoops, not 15. And then Kellogg's. Oh, I got a point 0.3. If you guys see that, that would have been a big, yeah, that would have been in a weird place. Gotta watch my typing. Typos are easy to do when I'm doing this stuff. Rating a 120. Da da da, where are we? Kellogg's, Sam Adams, and Vodka. We'll get some alcohol in here. And that's going to go to point 0.2, 0.75, and a rating of 125. So you can see the ratings are up a little bit higher already. And this one's going to go there and bring that up to a rating of 130. Hey, Thomas, how you doing? So is this version 3 and or when? I am working on version 3. We've got a lot of the little details to take care of. I figured I'd jump in here and we'll take a look at the new menu after I get this done and see if everything goes right. But yeah, there's still quite a ways to go because there's a lot of this little stuff to take care of before it gets released. Um, where are we? Sam Adams and Smirnoff are done. We're going to throw the B products in up here, which is interesting because we should probably put that before planters. We'll just, let's see. That means I'd have to, I forgot about, well, planters can run. It just can't make the honey stuff until later. So we could stick it in here, B products. Chances are, if you played like us, you'll be able to unlock more than you can actually do at one time. Let's bring that down a little bit in price, though. Whoops. 250, and then we'll make that there. The bee products are just you can still do the beehives and stuff. This only unlocks the additional, the candles and the, actually you can make the honey for the other product. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can make the honey and the wax. This just unlocks the candles and the fire logs. So it'll work just fine there. Bee products. Let's grab our Frito-Lay factory and just move that one up the list. And we'll make that one go to 0.2 and 0.6 at a 140 rating. And then we have to add our new 3 in here. Hines, let's grab the new 3. Let's make sure I got one of these copied. We've got Hines, And I'm going to make these a little bit more expensive than the others so you guys got something to work for. 145. Then we'll open up Ken's salad dressing. And make that 150. And our Dole factory. And that one can go 155. All right. Campbell's. We got to make it Campbell's we're going to throw in here now. Bring in Campbell's. A and we're going to unlock. Remember, Campbell's is two factories. And if I don't spell it right, we're not going to get it right in the menu. Uh, we're going to make each half of it about 200,000. And we'll make them both unlock at 160, so you can unlock them both at the same time if you have the money. And did I miss any? I don't think so, other than the fuel's going to come up. I think we've got all of them there. Oh, I still need to put this at a these down these numbers. These numbers need to go down. Now, Shell Fuel, which used to be 125, is going to unlock at 175. That will give you a boost in fuel making at 175, and that's got to go to 2.3. The rest of them all unlock at 10 because they're just garages. Although I think we're going to run out of room in 2.2, 2.15. 0.1. Yeah. Maybe I'll make. See, this is where I've run into. I think I might just unlock. I don't want to. We ran out of menu spaces. So I think we're going to remove some of the garage purchases. The sawmills and the Cogent garage. How many do we need to remove? We got one, two, three, four, five, six left. So if I remove those three, and we'll remove the garages down at the main warehouse too. Just have the gravel and the quarry garages unlock. Uh, my menu is going to be so full, but we're going to check this out and I'll show you what I'm talking about and if we messed anything up. Let's save that file up right now. Jump into a new game. I was not going to build Shell Zero for Paul. Someone was going to do it for me and it has not come along. But if it shows up soon, other than that, I'm just going to run with the markers that are there because yeah, a lot of work goes into that. Let's delete the save games so I can start a new one and check out my menu for unlocking stuff and see if I messed it up at all. You have it done. Can you send me the link to my alberth at gmail.com, Thomas, and I will put it in. I didn't realize, I couldn't remember who it was either. But Thomas, yeah, if you got it done, send me a link to it, upload it, and get it over here, and we'll drop it in. I haven't touched that factory yet because of that. So you'll have to build that one too. ALBORITH, my bot name, at gmail.com. Yep, send it along to there and we'll put that factory in tomorrow so I can get it going. All right, unlocking factories. We will see if I made any typos. And you will also see why I needed to delete a few. First off, if we have an error, it would pop up in here. There are just two graphic errors which I can take care of later that I know of. But we should be good with this. And if I go like this, rating a 20, crystal steel, user glue, national gypsum, furniture, black cap, textile, hops and props, grain mill, sugar refinery, Borden Meat Company, soy milk, Heartland bread, and they're all in order. Pepsi, Delmonte, Planters, Popcorn Suttons, Kellogg's, Sam Adams, Smirnoff, B Products, Frito-Lay, Hines, Ken's, Dole, Campbell's Part 2, Shell, the gravel pit garage and the quarry garage will have to be purchased as well for a small fee. But that is going to be pretty easy. You start off the game with 8 points. So to get concrete going, you just got to do a little bit of work, buy a few fields, and you'll have that open. You could start building the concrete right away. You just can't own it until you unlock. So that was pretty easy. They're all there. And basically, what we would do, and we'll do a quick test here. Let me first close the account menu and jump in a vehicle. I'm going to run over to where we make our purchases and make sure that that looks good as well before we continue on to part 2 of the changes in the map in that file. We got a lot more in that file to do before it's ready to go, but we're halfway there. This is the stuff that can get done pretty. So reordering it, that was one of the things on my list. If if I can actually get to the building correctly over here, where we purchase real estate, and give myself some money. Oh, we don't have the points, so I can't unlock them anyway. I didn't give me points, but yeah, this menu should. Oh, it's not time. I forget what time the real estate office opens, but here, let's do it. Fast forward to now it'll be open. Just check the menu out. All right. They're all good. They're all highlighting before. If something was misspelled or something, it would pop up. Now it's just going to tell you it has blocked the deal. You need a rating of 35. So there you go. You need a rating of 155. So those are good. Let's move on to part number 2 of that file. Wasn't so bad. Yeah, train lines are marked in color on this. Fields are smaller, but most of them are designed like I do on most of my maps, where to give you a reason to use your plow and plow them together. So keep that in mind. Let's jump into the next section of our which one was it? It was, yeah, the buyables are done. Everything that's buyable is in. I might adjust the prices a little bit later, but for now, they'll work. Down here are the updatables. Now this is going to be interesting. What updatables do is give us prices to update the actual speed of productivity. So we're going to go with all of the updatables that are here, but we got to add the new factories in, and we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to go right here, number of updates 3, and we're going to replace that with, we're going to do a series of 5 updates now. So replace all those. So now they all say we have 5 updates on all of them. And the productivity ratings right here, we're going to replace with, we have to add 2 more, but we're going to go 1 point, we're going to do it this way. 1 point, yeah, replace 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and then 2, and then we'll do a 2.5. So we're going to have 5 levels of productivity on all the purchases, and that's the level. So if you buy the first level, it'll run 25% faster, all the way up to 2.5 times as fast. For now, we're going to leave that the way they are. Yeah, the real truth and when it comes out is when I say it is. It's in my whisper. Okay. Sounds good. Yep, I got the link there. I will not download it while I'm broadcasting. All right, so we have 5 levels of updates, and we need to go into the prices for each of those levels and change the prices. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, I just pasted the productivity over that instead of, I hit Control V instead of Control C. I want to actually Control F and then replace with, we're going to make each level cost a little bit more. So we now have 5 levels of productivity, and we'll replace all of those. And that takes care of those. Okay. Next up on the list, we have to add in the new factories for, all right, day costs too. They're going to go down because we have to change the costs of running per day on all of these and add 2 more levels in. I'm going to cut down your daily costs on these because they're going to be producing less in the long run. So let's take this one, put it here, and change our day costs are going to be much less. 500, 750, because the costs on these things go crazy. 1,000, 1,250, and 1,500. So every time you upgrade it, it's going to cost you a little bit more to run them. Hours would be if it gets upgraded at hours. We don't have to worry about that, but we do have to, from this point, add all the new factories in. So we're going to have to make some number changes on the menu a little bit. Let's bring in our slaughter. Let's see which one. I got the list here again. Turn the page of my book so I get the spelling right. Slaughterhouse And we gotta change the menu location. We've got Campbell's and Campbell's B, which, just so you know, is these prices is just the initial test and the production levels. I may come back in here and edit the heck out of them, but I got to get them set up so they're in here and a little bit different so we could see what kind of reaction we get. Campbell's B goes 2.5. Then we've got Ken's, Dole, Hines. Ken's. Dole. And our Hines building. And planters and our bee products. Now these I'm not so concerned with the order as much as the other ones, but I do see that we're going to have too many here. We're going to have to figure something out as well. Bee products 2.25 there. That leaves us with our upgrading our reserve houses. I was going to change this anyway. We are going to keep our initial big warehouse because all of the things are going to be connected, all the train stations. I was not going to make that upgradable because it would be impossible to upgrade. You have to make sure you empty everything in it. It will get we're going to just do a 5 million capacity on the trains all the way around. So those three updates are actually going to come out of this anyway. And that's what I did for farm silos. They're all going to go to a higher capacity than we previously had. We'll probably stick all the farms at like 3 million to begin with. So all of these additional ones, you won't have to upgrade the farms anymore. It's too much of a pain in the butt to empty everything and upgrade them, but we're going to give them all the 3 million capacity at each of the farms. So all of these updates right through here are going to come out actually, and we'll have to do some editing in the silos. That takes care of the updatables. Let's jump back in and see if we can purchase those now. And then, yeah, the farm silos all have to be edited in the as I go through the factories as well. I got to click on pretty much every single item in the map that has a capacity and just double check it going down through to here. Let's delete that one and start it over again. Because production rates of each of the factories have to be done in the map. Oops, did I pass my map? There we go. This will be, if this worked out, it'll be part number 2 knocked off of my list, which is, I can't cross that, unlock order, uh, upgrades, at least the initial part of it. Would help if you hit the start button. Yeah, we're going to go with them not, but the main warehouse is going to be cut back a little bit because it's just way too much. And all the farm silos are going to go up. So there's going to be more storage on the map. It's just going to be divided up a little bit. Each of the farms will be 3 million, and there's going to be 5 million capacity for all of the connected train stations. 10 million's a little bit ridiculous. If you have that much stored, you've got a problem. Okay, let's go to find a truck. I think it's time to sell stuff if you got 10 million of it. And go to our upgrades. I think we can purchase up. I don't know if we can purchase them. I might have to go do a little bit of a file edit on this one. If you can purchase an upgrade before you own it, probably not, but we'll find out. No, it's not. I think it's time to sell some of your grain there before it goes bad. Let's see. The realty company here. We need to fast forward our time again. Stop by the realty company. All right, definitely got an error in my list because. Oh no, wait, those are the only two I own. Ah, so we're gonna have to make some flags. Basically, update productivity to 5,400 liters per hour for 750 a day, $80,000. So it only shows you the ones you own. We need to get some money. And let's see if at least do the ones we have here. Stone processing, 5,400 liters a day. Then we can go to 6,300 liters an hour. So for another $1,000. Oh, we need to get a lot more money. I'm just checking the levels. Get me a ton of money here to see if they're working okay. Factory is closed for reconstruction. Apparently, you can only do one at a time, and they close until they're ready. I didn't know that. Well, one thing to remember, factories are going to be slowing down and actually product. I'm going to see if I can get the things to open up by fast forwarding. I don't know how long they shut down when we're doing maintenance, but let's see if they're open yet. That one did. So the next level would be at 7,200 liters for another 200,000. And this one here, we just purchased that one. And it'll tell me that it's probably closed for processing. Yep, reconstruction. Let me go fast forward another day here and see if I can get another level unlocked. 7,200 liters an hour for 200,000. Nope, still closed. Probably takes like 2 days to do your upgrade. Maybe 3. Try it again. There we go. And then the next level would be 9,000 liters an hour for 250,000, and it'll cost you 1,500 a day. So we're getting all the levels of upgrading, but some of these factories are going to actually slow down drastically in the beginning of the process. Go another day here and see if we can get it. The factories that don't require building are going to pretty much run at least a week, probably 7 in-game days before needing. There we go. 9,000. I don't have enough money. Oh, come on. I spent all that money already? Did I get it? Why is it not doing it? It's tricky. It won't give me the last one for some reason. 9,000 liters an hour for 1,500. So we might not be able to go as many levels, and that's what I wanted to test. So regular maintenance per day at $1,500. Let's go back and see. If it's not going to let me click it out, then we got to figure out why. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. We might have to drop a level, but what I want to do is go over there and see what we're pumping out for a liter. Oh, I don't have to go over there. Silly me. That's our stone processing. And we are at 7,200 liters was as far as we could get it. We can't get to 9,000. And we're at 1,250. So it won't get that last level unlocked for some reason. Let me just try it one more time just to see what happens here. Yeah, it won't give me the last level on that one. Let's try the other one, see what happens. Get that one all the way up. If it has the same problem, we just got to cut off, I think, one level. It can only do 4. That's why we test these things. All right. Won't allow me to do the last level for $1,500. Let's go back out and check that out. I think that was the last one. Do I not miss 100K dollars? I just cheated the money in. It works. Let's see what we've got here. Go back to my list. So it's which one did we get? It, it still only did the first 3. So apparently you can only do 3 upgrades. Well, that's just fine. How do you do? We only got 3 out of it. So back to where we were before, and we'll just space them out a little bit better this time around. I guess 3 is the maximum. Whoops. That stinks. But it happens. That's why we test. $2.4 million in wallet and need 2.5. No, it wasn't 2.5 million. It's 250,000. That's what it was. So that's what you're saying. All right, we're gonna have to redo our updates back mostly to where they were, to 3 updates, unfortunately. But we're still gonna change the way it works. Uh, let's take. I don't know why the first one is 0. Whoa, the middle one was 150, 1,500,000, 200,000. 8. We're gonna make this. Yeah, the prices are a little bit weird. I had 0, 100,000. Upgrades will be easier. 100. Maybe we'll do them 100, 200, and then 300 for each upgrade. Make sure I count my zeros. Okay, that works. Productivity levels. Got to change those to just 3 levels as well. I'm going to go to 1.5. Actually, if we got a 10-day and we buy one and it goes to 5, yeah, we'll go 1.5, then 2, and then we'll bring it to 2.5. And everything else should be good. Let's see, we should get 3 good updates out of it this time. And then I need to adjust the price on each of the individual factories in the game, and that should be it for up the the speed. I need the speed changed. Let's restart. Make sure we get a fresh game here. A little bit of a speed change for each of the factories, except for we do definitely want to keep the speed pumping out products on the main ones. It's all the later ones, like the bird seed. Those factories, I want you to be able to fill them on the first level and let them go for 10 days without having to fill them again. That's my goal. The factories that require building products, you should be able to fill them and have to refill them every day or so and get the products out of them. But let's see what we got now. Let's go back to, let's get rid of that. Get a whole boatload of money because we know we need a ton of it. And do this one more time. Come on, where are you? There we are. Run it one more time. See if we can get 3 good levels. Meow. So the question is, liters per hour, man. They're gonna have to. I know basically. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of adjusting downward, but you should be able to get a lot of it back. Whoops, I think I went right behind the building that I want to go to. Yep. I should have edited the save games so that I could see all of them, but we really just need to test a couple right now. I'd have to buy all the. Oh, what did I go so far for? I just need to get past 10 a.m. There we go. All right. First upgrade is to 7,200 liters for 200,000. And I'm going to jump in there to Cogent. We're at 5,400 and 500, so one level. Now we're at 7,200 and it costs 750 a day. Let's go forward a little bit further. That's first level, 200,000. Go a couple days. Whoops. All right. Now we are at, because I did purchase, we're at 9,000. It cost 300,000 for that construction cost. Now we should get one more. We might need to let's see. Oh wait, it only allowed us to upgrade twice that time. I'm wondering if it's because the zero, I think we need one more price. So the second one cost 300,000. Let me try saving this where it is and see if I can trigger another one on just Cogent before we change them all. This stuff is all Greek to me. I know what I'm doing, sorta. Only halfway. We had 3 upgrades before, now we're just at 2. All right, the first one cost us 200,000. The second one cost us 300,000. And Cogent, where are you? Da 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 da, right here. So the first price didn't even do anything. That must be the original. Let me try to put in one more here at 400. Oh wait, let's just do it on the one factory before I go crazy, which was Cogent. See, that's why the first one was 0, because it didn't even register. But I think that's the original. So if that one goes to 0, then the other 3 are 2, 3, and 4. We should get one more, and that would be our 3 price levels. Let's see if that one works. I might actually have to start a new game to try it, but we'll do a quick check and see if I can get this last one in there on the current one. 1,605 hours in FS17, and only about 20 hours was not in PV17 map. Wow, that's pretty impressive, Badzilla. Yeah, see, I see the productivity. We'll jump into that after I get that too. The productivity is liters per hour is going up. It's the costs that would have to be. But let's jump back over to where we were and see where we are at. Whoops. See if we can get another level out of this now or not. All right, now let me start a new game. I think it's already written in the rules. We'll see what happens. We'll start a clean one and do it over. See if we get 3 purchases at least. I may have to change that number to 4. We'll figure it out. Why did I shut the whole game down? I didn't need to do that. All right, let's hope this works. I just want to get at least one more level. We'll have to do some more testing on this but until I get it all right. We might still be able to get 5 levels. I might have needed just another number in that list. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I would love to have 5 levels of upgrades on each one. We'll figure one out, then we'll go from there. Change them all. Might have just needed a 0 in the beginning and then 5 numbers, but we should be able to get higher this time. Let's see what we get. Trial and error. I don't know how these scripts work. I just fudge numbers until I get it right and see what they accept. So we were not able to purchase the $1,250 level. Now let's see if we can. Yeah. Oh, fast forward to past. Make sure the place is open. Cogent. The first level is purchase for 200,000. Fast forward again. Couple days. Gotta love super fast forward mod for testing purposes. $9,000 for $300,000. Done. And one couple more days. It won't let me do the regular maintenance per day, $1,250. It's only giving me two shots at it. Let me check the line again. It's doing my 200 and 300. Do we not have a 400,000 price in there? That could be it too. Let me check it all out. Oops. I thought we put in a. Yeah, we got 200, 300, 400. Oh, is it the productivity? Do we need a 1 in front of that possibly? And then the day costs, we have enough of those. Let's try adding regular productivity would be 1, then 1.52 and 2. Let's try that and see if that does anything. Might need a like the default value in there to start with. I don't know. It's just a guess. I've been using the default values since we started the map, so we'll get it done. I appreciate it, Thomas, but after this, I'm going to go to bed and I'll get it through there tomorrow for sure. It's just going to be a couple more tries. We'll get it done. If this don't work, I will take a nap and get my thinking cap back on because I'm running out of thoughts and ideas. I know we got too many. Sometimes you ever do that? That happens with me all the time is start off and things just my mind by the end of the day is so fried that I can't figure out how to do something and then when I wake up the next morning it's like ta-da, piece of cake, you know? Just needed a refreshing to get my mind back in order. It's like how could I not have figured that out last night? What was I, you just get kind of flustered. But I think it has something to do with that first upgrade because it's hitting the 200,000 right away. And that's the second number in the list. Whoa, don't roll over. I don't want to have to go get another car. Aw. Where are we? That farm is pretty close. I'm not driving a tractor over. I'll probably, unless I roll this over. We're taking the back roads. Change the 0 to 100,000. Yeah, I got another number in there. Let's see what happens. I think the first level is the default level, and then the next ones are the upgrades, is what I'm guessing. But the 0 has always been there before, so that's probably why I'm thinking it's a default level. If we get 3 levels out of this, then I know what's going on. It just needs an extra number in there for your default level to start with. We got to be able to get 3 upgrades this time. That's all I want, 3 upgrades and another truck. Whoa, watch. Whoa, that was close. I thought for sure. I just wanted to upright that one just in case I crashed again. I almost lost them both. Meow. The good news is that once you figure one out, the rest should fall into place. Let's go past 10 o'clock. I think that's when it opens. Yeah, it's good enough for now. All right, Cogent Forest products. See, the first price it's given me is 200,000. Done. Next, one more day. Next price is the 300,000 for $1,000. Or for 300,000 for, it's getting late. Okay, I think we're good. 400,000 for 1,250 a day. There you go. All right, we were able to purchase that level. We might even be able to get the 5 that I wanted. Regular maintenance would be 1,500. I think we can. I think it was just a matter of uh, getting it. So we do have 3. All I need to do is have an extra number in there. So we definitely have 3 levels. I'm going to push it up a little bit higher to, we're going to push it back to 5. And we got the 0, 200, 300, 400, 450, 500. And let's go put our 1.25 and our 2.25 back in there. And we have, this one would be the default one as well. It's not reading the first one. So let's put a 0 in front. 500. And let's add the last one at 2,000 just so we know if we hit it. And see if we have 5 levels on that. And that will be it for this evening. If it works, I'll just drop them all like that and we can call it done. See if we get 5 levels. Add the days. Now that's, the days don't go in there. There's you're looking at the hours. That's the hours of, I don't think that has anything to do with it unless that is upgraded working hours in the factory. That part isn't used, I don't think, Thomas, unless you want to change the working hours, and because we're only upgrading the we don't want to change the working hours on these. Let me check it out and see what happens. See if we get 5 levels out of this. We're going to need a lot more money. That should be enough. Because the third one's 24 hours already. They're all set to 24. it's working hours, and if you can't work more than 24-hour day, so I don't think that that would be necessary. That will just take control to extend the hours on the ones. I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm guessing. It's all a guessing game. But let's see if we can get any extra levels out of this. We had three. I changed the number of upgrades to five and added the extra numbers in where I think they need them, and let's see what happens. First one up should be for 200,000 done. Go 2 days. Second level for 300,000 done. Third level for 400,000 done. Right? We did get the 400,000. Yep, next one it actually even says uh it won't let me do the next level. Maybe let's fast forward and see if that changes anything, but I think we're stuck at the 3 levels. Pretty sure we're going to be stuck on 3 levels, but 3 is okay. We could work with 3. We just needed the default number in there. Yeah, see, it won't click on it for the $450,000 level. It's probably just, actually, are we getting a script error? Attempt to compare. Now, maybe I do need a number in that last thing. We'll check the numbers one more time. But I don't think we can get past 3. The script is throwing an error past the third one. The only thing, like I said, is if we're not getting to the fourth one right here. We have a fourth price. We have the fourth day cost. I don't know what you can do with the hours. Maybe add a 8 and a 20 or something in there if it needs to have them. That's the only thing. If not, we drop it back down to 3 and knock off some numbers and we'll be good. But this is really the only thing I could possibly think of that might be causing the issue. If not, we'll go with 3 updates and we'll knock them back a little bit and we'll be good to go. One more time through for tonight, folks, and then we'll call it a night. Anybody has any last questions? You can throw them out there and we'll try to get them. The day cost, there is no day cost. Um, the well, I can't say. I don't think here. We have number of updates. Product the day costs are already there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, and we only need 6. There's actually probably one too many in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all we need, and we have 7. So if anything, we have one too many. But we'll fire it up and see what happens. Do a test. I think we only get 3 levels. It's possible that's the way the script works. But we'll leave this at tonight because I might be able to edit the script to give us 5. I'll have to take a look and see where it is. I'd love to have 5. The 0 has to start in the beginning. The 0 doesn't make a difference. The initial numbers are not red. That's your startup. So if you have 3 levels, you need 4 numbers. I figured that part out already. The first number being the initial startup level, which should be even, 1 or 0 up cost because it's not going to read it. It's not going to doesn't cost us for anything. It's the numbers after that that are the upgrade levels. And if this doesn't work, then we're just going to drop it back to 3. That's all. And we'll configure them all the way they need to be. I already know how to get 3 to work. I just don't know if it will take 5. And this is the only other thing that could possibly be throwing a loophole in the 5. I know how to get the 3 to work. You got to have 4 numbers. The first number in each one is your default value. So a 0 for product for cost isn't even red. It's what it starts at. It takes that number from the game itself, the factory itself. Everything else after that is the upgrade. So see, because you notice we're right at the 200,000 level and the $500 a day. And if we look back at our sheet, you will see that 200 is the second number, 500 is the second number because the zero is not being read and our productivity isn't even going to be read. The zero, that's why I put it at 1. We're going to get an increase to 1.25 of what 1 is. So let me click back on that. It's all using the third number or the second number as the first upgrade. Did I freeze up my screen here a little bit or something? Here, let's back out and try it again. All right. So the first one's 200,000. I just want to see if we can get to the. Now it'll use the second number. So basically the first number is not red. That's the starting level, we'll call it. It's what the factory's running on without upgrading it. That's why I want it at base cost. There's the 300,000. That one went through. Did I only do 1 day? I can't remember. And then the 400,000. There, that one went through. And I don't think we'll get a 500,000, but we'll give it a whirl. I guess you only have to go 1 day, at least enough. Oh, it did do it. We might even get it with the hourly upgrade. That was a 4th level. Let's try one more. So it did need and our 5th, oh, it looks promising. We need more time. $500,000. Oh, let's see if I can. There it was. So we've got 5 levels of upgrading and everything is working. And now Cogent Factory. That's what it needed, that other number. Oh, but we have an issue. Toggle map size is going crazy. Cogent. It's now at 9,000 liters per hour for 1,500 a day. Let's see if that matches up with 5,000 and 1,500 a day, the last number. So that's exactly what we need. This whole line copied into each one of these. That's all. 5 levels. Awesome. I'm so excited. Whoops. Wrong button. Uh, now we want to take our prices and replace them with this. We want to take our productivity and replace them with this. I probably could do the whole line, but replace all those. Uh, there we go. And then our day costs have to go to, oh, they're all okay. They're all already at, but the hours, we needed the extra long hours here. So, whoops, wrong button. And we want these hours. I don't know what the hours do. Maybe we'll figure that out someday. But it needed them. Replace all upwards. Okay. Our factories now have 5 upgrades apiece, and we are good to go. That's pretty much part number 3. We'll be working out these numbers. Oh, we do want to change all of the number of updates here. Uh, let's see, copy that one down there. Change all the 3s to 5s. Number of updates 5. Go down as well. Okay. All our factories now have 5 upgrades, which is pretty awesome. And that is going to be it for tonight. I can cross off that, at least for the initial thing. So next thing is to go in and do all the factories. And with that, the day costs are already all set. They were from before. We've got plenty in there. It'll go to $1,500 a day if you upgrade all the way to 2.5 times the original speed. I might make some changes on these, but the big thing is now going back into, whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. I'll show you real quick when I get back in there. I got to kind of guesstimate factory speeds on, I guess I could get out a calculator and figure it out, but we'll jump into the map real quick here. The liters per hour setting on each of the factories has to be changed appropriately. And for instance, I know the brewery, I could fill it and it'd be empty in a day. And it would have everything in it. Well, so I'm going to take that one as my starting point, Sam Adams, and then see what it's set for. And I want it to be about 1/10 of that production speed. And then we'll go with that base and see how it works. That way, at speed of 1, regular speed when you start it, it should take about 10 days to empty it. But once you go up a level to 1.5, you're going to cut it back to like 7 days. And if you get all the way to 2.5 times speed, it will take you about 3 days to run the whole factory on the later factories. So if you can run all the factories and keep them all filled every 3 days, then more power to you because your crops don't grow that fast. But that's about where I want it to be. So the production rate on beer, if I get it there, let me load this up. We'll do a quick check on the one factory, and then I'll run some tests. I'll fill it up and drain it before I put it on the server and see if it's where I like it, which I won't do that tonight, but we're getting there. As we load in this crazy map, I think we're loading in the crazy map. There we go. You can see I already started clearing the room for the greenhouse. That's going to be where it's going to extend to. I got to remove the trees. But let's go over to the brewery, which is over this way. And I'll just click on one of the triggers that I know is here so I could pull it right up. And we go to my job streams. Job stream 1. I think it's in jobs. It might be in the beer factory route, but let's see. It takes a while. This is why I don't do this. I decided not to do this online because it actually does go faster when I'm not streaming and running everything at the same time. As soon as I get done, I'm going to download that. All right. We got the output percentage. All right. It's going to be in the Beer Factory UF file right here instead. We've got the input percentage. It outputs 100%, but we want to slow it down and reduce the daily costs of running considerably too, because it's going to, and then we're going to increase the price. So our cost per second is 0.03, and we're going to put, I want it to be 1/10, so I'm going to go 0.003. Day costs, we're going to knock them back quite a bit. But job liters per second is at 1.05. And I guess that we want that to be about, we're going to go to 0.15, and night costs can be real low. Yeah. All right, 0.15. So it's going to produce a lot slower. And then what I have to do is increase the prices on them all. But that's going to be my test for tomorrow. We'll see. Well, I'll fill this factory up, and we're running at about 1/10 of the speed. And I'm going to see how fill up all the products on my save game. Then run the factory and see how long it takes to drain just by regular fast forward and walk away, come back, and see how long it takes to empty it out completely. If it takes about 10 in-game days, then it's where I want it to be, so that if you're playing single player, you can fill this up. If you did, then you can concentrate with 30 plus factories in the map. You can come in and concentrate on like 3 of them a day, other than the ones that are going to be pumping out your building products in the beginning. But that's the goal. If you can work on filling up 3 factories a day and then move on and then come back 10 days later and collect all the money, you'll get into a nice rotation. So uh tweaking numbers after the just put in 1.3 million and no starter vehicles. You're going to get the starter vehicles. Tweaking numbers is going to be definitely possible after the game starts. The numbers can be tweaked as far as production speeds. We've done that in the past. So down the road, if we find that something needs to be adjusted, but I'm going to let these guys start running these factories. I'm going to fix our current save game with all the products they've been working on to bring them right in and give them enough points to start testing and just figure things out. And I'll be running the offline testing as well as far as factory production speed. Before we go, I just wanted to show you guys because I didn't know this because I'm so used to doing what I always do in the editor. And I just read a post on Giants, what they added, and you guys probably all already know this, but if you've used the Giants editor and haven't figured this out, then you're just like me. Because I'm so used to going to the menus that I wanted to. But when they did the 7.1 update, they added a prefabs tab. And I had no idea that if you open up your prefabs, you can go through and you will see a list of items that they have a library built into the game now of several things. So, say I wanted to bring in a storage tunnel, I can click import prefab and it will download it from the website automatically. I haven't done it yet, but it should. I don't know. I haven't tested it. This is my first test. It's probably not downloading very fast because of my internet connection, but it looks like we've got a flashing thingamabobber here. Let's see. Did it come in? Yeah, it's there. So we just got a tunnel and a tunnel door that imported. If we bring that right here. So they basically gave you some pretty easy map objects. Of course, I'm just going to bring the tunnel over to make sure it popped in okay because everything's running so slow when I'm broadcasting. But it gives you a predefined list of mods. My question is, can I add my own to that list? But there's your tunnel. We just imported it right off the website, and it's ready to use. And the door is out there too. It imported that, and it's got a funky looking top. But yeah, prefabs are built in. So just thought I'd jump in there and show you guys that because I just read about it. I'm not going to use that tunnel, but I can show you a little bit more of the prefabs before we go. Once I delete the tunnel, now that I know it works, there's some cool things. One thing I want to do, and because I already saved this map, let's try it right now because it might. I'd like your input on it, just because it'd be if I don't crash the game. Let's go to the prefabs. Window prefabs. I haven't done this yet. I don't know what's available, but I had an idea, and we're gonna go to nature and load in these. Oh, it's 20 megabytes. It might take a little while for the autumn trees. Uh, I don't know if I could do 20 megabytes. If I lose my connection, I'm sorry, but let's see what happens. I want to see. Well, yeah. Good night, Paul. Nice to see you out there. I want to see what a replace all does, seeing as the map is saved with the fall trees. I was thinking about for this update going and making it fall themed instead, just to make it a little bit different by just replacing all the trees with fall trees. Get the fall foliage. I thought it'd be kind of cool. But let's see if this comes in and if I can do a replace all and see what for each tree size. I'm wondering how many tree sizes there are in the fall set, and they also have to be trees that can be cut with the scorpion. Select prefab item. Aw, man, you got. Apparently we only get the birch, the maple, the poplar, the yellow bush, and the red bush. Let's try bringing in a poplar just for the heck of it. I wish we had a couple different sizes. I don't want to. I know the poplar can be cut with a saw. We could leave some pines, but maybe mix some autumn colors in. I thought would be kind of cool. Maybe the poplar will come in a few different sizes. I don't know. But because pines don't actually have colors, we need to use poplars or other ones. Let's see what we ended up with here. We got the poplar 40-meter tree. Okay. And I'm going to bring that one to take a look at it. Make sure we got a colored tree here. This very well, because of the number of trees on the map, could crash it, but I'm not going to save right now. It was just a thought that I had. It would be kind of cool to mix it up autumn wise with, let's see what it looks like here. Get off the tree here. Get some fall colors in the map. So there's our poplar in color. And what if we took every 40-meter tree, just for giggles, and edit replace with this type of tree? We could do the other trees as well, just to give it, with maybe the maples and stuff, but you want the 40 meters to stay pretty easy to cut. And replace all. I'm just going to see. It might crash because there's like how many trees in this map? It could take the rest of the evening. But I wanted to take a quick look and see what happens. It might not work. It will. Whoa, that wasn't so bad. I don't know if I care for the poplar, but like I said, I'm not going to save it. But it was a thought to maybe grab the maples and replace them all. Here, I'm trying to move, but it's still okay. There we go. So our 40-meter trees have all turned yellow. We could probably bring in prefab uh, different types of trees for the other sizes and make it an all fall map. Change some of them, leave some of the. Yeah, change. See, I'm not going to do change some of them because it's either replace all, because I'm not going to go through and place another 20,000 trees, or one at a time. So it would be replace all of one size. It was just a thought of a way to quickly give it a fall theme by mixing up the different trees with different tree sizes. But I don't want, we don't necessarily have to use prefabs. If anybody knows of any, I just want to be able to cut them with the regular saw. Let's see. I don't want, so if we brought in like the birches and then replaced another side. Yeah, I know it's not fall yet, but by the time we get there, we'll be pretty close. I might make two versions. Give a fall version. I mean, it'd be so easy to do a complete tree overhaul and do a different version and just save it at the end. This map will not work with the seasons mod, unfortunately. So I'm just playing right now. Just all right. So there's, ooh, the birch looks like it might be able to be cut the way they designed it. It's a 15-meter tree, but it looks like it might. No, it's got the V. So yeah, that's a problem. You wouldn't be able to. But I'm just gonna do it just for the heck of it, because we're not saving. We'll pick one of the smaller trees in here, like this one here. Just to add a little bit more. What size are we gonna grab? Yeah, the Pine Stage 3, replace with my little tree here. Replace all of those size on the map. Yeah, if I didn't do a replace all, I'd have to go tree by tree, and that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, 143 days till Christmas. I just thought I'd check it out and see what it looks like with a little bit of color in there to make it look a little. All right, so now it's got two types of trees. We've got some pines mixed in, and now the small. It would be very easy to do them one at a time with different tree types, but I don't think I care for the models actually on the poplars. They kind of look uh, not good. Just a thought though, changing up some tree types. We've got several trees changed. Yeah, it could be done, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is for now, unless I find some better trees. Trees with snow on them. Christmas trees. All right, do not save, or I will have so much work to do. Thank you guys for watching. And then thank you also everybody for the donations. I suppose they're back here on the list behind all these follows. Thank you everybody that followed as well. Dana8818 for your $20 donation. And if I miss you, Clincy did $25 donation. Uh Blaupunkt1 for your $50 donation. MadMex53 for your $5 donation. Serious Farmers NL for your $5 donation. Of Wolfie7009 before the broadcast donated $200. Thank you all so much. We'll be back sometime next week. Just keep a list. Not much there, Hills Underworld, but we'll be back next week sometime. I'm just not sure when. So have a great night, and we'll see y'all real soon with more stuff done. Thank you, and good night.